on this Monday morning, the Trump administration's face-off with the courts over deportations now continues.
And new controversy emerges involving Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth in a second Signal group chat. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Good morning, Marisa and David. Starting with this new Supreme Court action putting the president's deportation plans on pause and ratcheting up a legal test reaching all the way to the nation's highest court.
And we're getting them out.
President Trump's immigration policy again colliding with the courts after the Supreme Court paused the deportations of another group of Venezuelan migrants and alleged gang members. Lawyers representing the men say they're being denied hearings to argue their case, something the High Court previously ruled was required to deport under the Wartime Alien Enemies Act, which the administration wants to resume using, asking the justices to lift their hold.
I'm not arguing here that nobody should get due process. I'm just saying there's a different process under the Alien Enemies Act.
Two conservative justices dissented with the court's pause, calling it unprecedented and legally questionable. President Trump again slamming the federal courts for derailing his immigration actions to stop what he called a sinister attack on our nation. Critics like Senator Chris Van Hollen, who visited, mistakenly deported Kilmar Abrego Garcia in El Salvador, whose release the Supreme Court ordered the Trump administration to facilitate, accusing the president of focusing on gang allegations over due process.
If you deny the constitutional rights of one man, you threaten the constitutional rights for everybody.
Meanwhile, the administration facing new controversy over Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth sharing sensitive information ahead of U.S. military operations in Yemen last month in another Signal group chat, including his wife, his brother, and personal lawyer. They both hold Pentagon jobs. That's all according to two sources with knowledge of the matter. It was first reported by the New York Times. The White House saying there was no wrongdoing and no classified information shared.
And the Defense Department's acting inspector general is looking into the first Signal chat when a journalist was accidentally added to high-ranking Trump officials' sensitive military discussions again on Yemen. The ranking Democrat on the Armed Services Committee is asking that this new reporting be added to that investigation. David and Marisa.
In Washington this morning, Alice Barr. Live from Washington. Thank you, Alice. Happening today, the Trump administration will defend the Affordable Care Act before the Supreme Court. During his first term, President Trump repeatedly tried to repeal the law, which requires certain preventative services be covered at no cost. Critics say the government task force that issues the recommendations is not constitutional, but that task force isn't Senate approved. If the High Court does side with the president, it could give more power to Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who could shape how those mandates are now formed.
Well, over the weekend, protesters gathered outside San Fernando Cathedral to protest President Donald Trump and Elon Musk. It's part of an ongoing nationwide protest movement called 50-51. That stands for 50 protests, 50 states, one day. Demonstrators say they disagree with the actions President Trump has been taking, and holding these protests may help people share their voice and concerns.
And so this is kind of like an outlet for frustrations. At the same time, we do hope to accomplish something in terms of educating voters, spreading awareness, things like that people can take action to after they're done here today.
The next 50-51 protest is being planned for May 1st.